We're back. Discipline to Win, episode 21 today. Today we're going to get to the bottom of what is sales, how can you be a good salesperson, and how can you use sales to win relationships and really build your life in multiple ways. So Nick, if you can sort of just get us rolling here with, I guess, what is sales and what are the biggest qualities you need to be effective at sales in some capacity?
Yeah. So, sales is so broad, but I think everything in life, there's some type of sale involved, whether it be like when you're a kid and you're trying to like go out with your friends, or it's your wife or your spouse and you're trying to go do something, or you want to go somewhere for dinner, and then you're in business, obviously, and you have a product or you have a service that you're selling to clients or customers. Everything in life is a sale. So some of the main qualities that I think we have and that we learned really early that attribute to being a good salesman is, one, being super passionate and energetic about whatever you're selling. When someone has passion, when someone has energy and they're sitting across the table from you, whether it be they're selling you a car or whether it be you're selling them some type of service of your business, if you see passion and energy in their eyes, you're already like 90% of the way there. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to know that you care, and you care about what you do, and you care about them. So,
And you have about 5 seconds to display that.
Totally. And that's why like the intro of like smiling, firm handshake, looking somebody in the eye is so important, because if you mess that little part up, or you don't speak confidently, or you don't speak clearly, it could immediately derail the sale or anything that you're trying to accomplish with that client or customer or individual, because they automatically are like, oh, this person isn't confident, or oh, this person didn't look me in the eye when they shook my hand, or they gave me a weak handshake. So like all of those things are extremely important, but passion and energy are like, I think, the number one thing that you need. Going a step further from that, and I guess a little bit of what we talked about there, is like the presentation of yourself is very important. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in shape, if you have a clean haircut, you have nice clothes on, clean shaven, like that's going to put you a step forward from the guy who is 100 pounds overweight, wearing clothes that like have stains on them, unkept hair, unkept beard. Like, as much as people don't want to admit that, that completely plays a factor. Because I can tell you, when I'm going to buy a car, or you're going to even buy anything, you're at a store, like I want to talk to the salesman that's in the clean cut, suit, good haircut, speaks clearly, like good looking person. I don't want to talk to the person who looks like they can't even take care of themselves. How are they going to take care of you?
Their buttons are about to burst on their shirt.
They can't take care of themselves. How are they going to take care of you? So that's the other thing, is as much as people don't want to admit that, like the presentation of yourself is huge. And like being in good shape, not that you have to wear expensive clothing or expensive shoes, but just being clean cut is, you're already putting yourself a step ahead of people that don't take care of themselves.
And I think a lot of people will try to say, like, you can't judge a book by its cover, or, oh, I don't judge people. I think a big part of that's subconscious.
Yeah.
If you put somebody, like you said, that has dirt on their clothes, and somebody that you could tell everything's cleanly pressed and they're, they spent 20 minutes putting themselves together.
Yeah.
Who are you going to trust in any type of transaction? People will naturally gravitate to a person that is put together.
And not to say that
it's subconscious.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that person.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that person who's unkept, and they may be an amazing individual and they may be good at sales, but like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage if you do not show up every single day, like clean cut and at least looking like you care about yourself. And
because you are going to have to overcome way more.
Exactly.
You could be passionate, energetic, but like people will immediately subconsciously judge you, and you're going to be at a disadvantage starting out the gate before you even have introduced yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
So energy, passion, and like presentability to start from like a quality standpoint, before getting into like the intricacies of like when you're actually in a sales pitch or when you're actually selling someone. I think those are 3 pretty base things that, like, if you have that, you're going to put yourself at the front of the line. Now, in business, as we know all the time, every person, you and I included, everyone included, when you're making a bigger decision in sales, whether it be you're buying a product or a service, as big or small, you subconsciously are always going to have objections. And a lot of people talk about it on the internet, but objection handling is a huge thing in any type of sale. So I guess talk to me a little bit about like how you learned how to handle objection, how you handle objection, and what are some effective ways of continuing the conversation, getting through the sale, and ultimately coming to a solution with the client or customer when there's objections involved.
Yeah, I think the biggest way to overcome that is digging way deeper on the front end before you even get to any type of proposition or any type of decision point. You want to establish trust and build as much of a relationship and common ground as you can with anybody you meet immediately. So like a lot of people will try to go right to the pitch or just get right down to business when you meet somebody, but then you don't know anything about them. So if you do get some type of objection, you have no knowledge or no way to overcome that. So like sort of step one, and not even in just sales, in like life in general, whenever you meet somebody, you immediately, like you said, you want to be extremely excited to talk to them. I know in our organization, our guidance to all of our employees is anytime you interact with anyone from the public, it is your job to make that person that you're talking to think that your entire day was made because you had the chance to serve them or help them in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are going to walk out of wherever you're at then with the best impression and say, they were so happy to help me. All of us have been in some type of business or organization, and it's like, wow, that person literally wanted nothing to do with me and was just waiting for me to leave because they didn't feel like helping at all. And you will never go back to that company. So like step one is anytime you're meeting somebody, make them think your day was made because you got the chance to meet them today, which, like you said, that's smiling, that's being very confident, looking them in the eye, standing up straight, shaking their hand. That's sort of step one. And in 2024, like if you just do that, you're already a step ahead of most people that are, our age, I would say, for sure. So you're immediately displaying that you care, that you're happy to help, and that you want to learn more. And all that is just small talk at the lowest level, asking questions about, whatever it is you're talking about sort of what led them here today. You got to try to just like ease into identifying what the problem set is or what this person needs help with. And then being a subject matter expert and prepared on all the tools you have in your toolkit to help people with whatever their problems are. You have to that's before you even come in front of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have all your solutions and then find a way to help the person. And a lot of people in sales think the other way. They think the total, instead of starting at the beginning, they start at the end like, okay, I want to sell this person this. And they have something identified in their mind that they want to sell. And they skip through the whole 30 minutes of the conversation in the beginning where you're finding out about the person, figuring out what's going on in their life, building some type of common ground and rapport. You want to try to find a sports team that you have mutual interest or a hobby that you have mutual interest. So then this person then can naturally like you and want to do business with you. And by the time you have all those things established and figure out the problem set, when you're then presenting your solution, if you've done all of that correctly, the person will not even have the slightest idea in their mind that you're selling them anything.
Correct.
That's the goal. So like the biggest goal is not even getting to an objection. It is just establishing rapport, establishing that you care, establish that you're a subject matter expert, and then properly present how you're going to take care of all of this person's problems because you have the solutions to do that. And then you're not then at the very end, you're not going to say, are you okay with this? Does this sound good to you? Or can we do this today? What's next? It's just like you're going to the doctor and the doctor, tells you have a torn ACL. The doctor's not going to say, hey, I have 3 ways to fix this. Are you okay with this one, or this one? The doctor's going to say, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Let's get you scheduled in the next couple months and take care of that. Whatever business you're in, that's the same way you have to do it because you're the subject matter expert. You don't ask anybody, do you want this? Do you want to do this? It's just you've identified the problem, you've displayed your solutions to fix that problem, and then you go right into the execution phase of how you're then going to bring it all home.
Yeah.
And I think that, when you started working with me, that's what, you saw probably really early is there's no actual pitch. And that's why in our organization, we've gotten rid of the word proposal. It's just straight action plan. Because at the end of the day, we are helping people in every way that we possibly can. And we are the subject matter experts in our field. It's just all about how you properly present, how you're going to execute on that problem set. And if you do that correctly, there are no objections. And you've seen probably 90% of the time there really aren't objections.
Totally.
The 10% of the time that there are objections, you should know, if you've done everything correctly, where that person is getting friction, because when you are going through presenting your solutions, you'll identify the area that things aren't connecting with them. And it's not like if someone says, you know what, like, I really don't think this is right for me. You don't just say, well, yes, it is. Like, we need to do this. You go back to whatever they're like, and usually it's not somebody not wanting whatever you're giving them. They clearly do, because they're sitting in front of you. Like, they are extremely interested in being taken care of. It is they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, you know, I've seen you say this a million times. You've seen me say this a million times. If someone says, hey, I need time to think about this. If someone says, hey, I'm not sure about this, they need more information.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone leaves your building and goes somewhere else and goes home, where are they now going to try to seek this information? Online.
Mm-hmm.
What is the bad thing about them seeking it online? There's a million situations they're going to find. None of them probably apply to their individual situation, where they're going to get bad information. So that is usually our go-to to if there are some objections and people say, hey, I just need more time. I need to go talk to whoever. I need to leave and think this over. We always just say, you know, clearly you just don't have enough information. I need to go back and give you some information, some more information, so you really, you know, get this nailed down and understand. And you could always ask the person, you know, what exactly aren't you understanding about whatever we're talking about? And then you go right into enforcing whatever that is and giving them that expert knowledge.
Totally. And I think it goes back to the very first thing, like when you're doing what we call like a fact find. Like if you're in any sales role and you're selling a product or service, you're doing some type of fact find to extract information of like, what does the prospect want? And here's my array of product and services. The questions that you ask and the listening that you do, which is the most important part.
Sometimes you just got to shut the hell up.
Literally, the best salespeople, they don't talk that much, because you're asking good probing questions, and then you're sitting back and listening, and you're taking in that information, and then that's when it goes back to like, you're the subject matter expert. Based on the things that you're hearing, you're already constructing what you are going to then be like, hey, this is what
you're going to
action, because they give you, the prospect will give you the answer to what they want. It's your job to put the right thing in front of them. Somebody like is telling you, yes, they want a truck, but all of the information that you're extracting is like, well, this person doesn't need a truck. They need a midsize SUV. Like, it's your job to then direct that person to what they need. And I think it really goes back to asking the right questions and being really, really good at asking those probing questions based on what your array of product or service are, and then sitting back and listening. The most effective listeners, I think, are the best salesmen, because a lot of times people think you just need to talk and you need to be loud and you need to be pushy to be and that's when like the word salesman gets a bad rep, because people think, oh, like sleazy, they're trying to push product down my throat. Really, the most effective salesmen that have done it at the largest scale have sat back, have listened, and then based on the information that the prospect has told them, they have a solution to go ahead and put in front of them. And at the end of the day, if you do that at the highest level, there literally can't be an objection, because you've done the due diligence of listening to they've already told you the pain points, and you've already navigated the pain points as they've been talking, even so that you've been identifying pain points that they don't even know that they've had to steer them to the right solution, identifying things that like, hey, what about this? Oh, I didn't even think about that. Hey, what about this? That's part of the job of being an effective salesman, not just to, hey, I have this product, push product down the prospect's throat. So
how many business dinners have we been in where we're sitting with another company, with the principal from another company? It'll go 3 hours. Me and you and whoever we're with, we'll leave the dinner and we'll be like, we might have spoken for 10 minutes of 3 hours. Like, we barely got to share any information about ourselves. And then we'll get an email from whoever we were meeting with saying, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys were so good. Everyone's favorite thing to talk about is themselves. And if you let people share about themselves and you then are genuinely interested and ask those probing questions to dig deeper, they're going to have the time of their life. Everyone loves talking about themselves in some capacity.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, and I'm a true believer of this, that like you could have a mid-tier product or service. Like, it could be middle of the road. It could be literally just like everybody else's. But if you're a really effective listener and you provide really, really high level service, you will smoke the person that has the highest level product that offers mid-level service, and that is like a mid-level salesman that doesn't really care about people, because ultimately people want to be cared about.
Yep.
Like that's just is what it is. People want to be heard. People want to talk about themselves, and people want someone that they know is going to care about them. In our industry, we say it all the time. There's 100 guys from here to
The red light.
50 miles down the road that do literally the exact thing that we do, that offer the same products, that offer the same services. But what we separate ourselves that's a little bit different is just the way that we handle relationships, the way that we care about people, and the way that we always put like our people first, and we'll do anything.
We're willing to do
for
more.
them.
At the end of the day, say yes, don't say no.
Yeah. So like I think that's a huge misconception. A lot of people that are trying to start a business are trying to perfect like, oh, well, this person does the same thing, or like this person has the same type of service. Well, you just have to do it better. You just have to care a little bit more if you want to separate yourself from whatever that exact product or whatever that exact service is. You can offer literally the exact same thing. But if you're there to pick up the phone more, if you truly care about them, if you're the one giving the firm handshake, like, hey, I'm always going to be here for you, you're answering the call at 12 o'clock at night when they need help, that is what's going to separate you. And that's what's going to put you in front of anybody else that's doing exactly what you're doing. Because ultimately there's no lack of ideas in this world. There's no lack of people doing the same thing. That's what's amazing about the capitalist country that we live in, is that everybody can go out and do a similar thing. There's a million people that sell cars. There's a million people that do what we do.
Yep.
But it's really about like, are you listening? Do you care? And like, do you truly want to make a positive impact in the person's life more than the next guy who's doing the exact same thing as you?
And then you'll know that you've done all of those things correctly whenever people start selling for you.
Exactly.
Whenever all of your people are so happy, the best compliment they can ever give you is a referral.
Mm-hmm.
Our business, in our industry, we are in the top 1 percentile, the 99th percentile, out of everyone with similar sized businesses as us, because of how much we care about our people and what we will do for our people. Every other business in our industry has very, very strict hours. We are open 9 to 5. There is nothing that happens after 5 p.m. It is known in our organization that you will go wherever and you will do anything for our clients at any time. There are no normal hours. Someone needs a meeting at their house at 10 p.m. that's 3 hours away. Like, our people know they damn well better be there. And it's not that it's this unrealistic way to live either, because those things are very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But you show up a couple times like that for people when it's needed, and it is word that becomes wildfire through your community to where you are known that you will do whatever it takes to take care of your people. And all that is in 2024 is picking up the phone, calling people back, and sitting down with them at their house, at the office, whenever they need help really digging into something or solving a problem in their life. It's the easiest probably in the last 100 years to be successful because so few people do that.
It is. And everyone's so lazy. And that's like people, it's insane. Like, especially with that, like they're like, well, I only work like this and this hours.
Right.
And if you don't fit into my schedule, then like, I'm not going to serve
And it
you.
becomes an ego thing.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't go see other
Why are
people
you
anymore.
like in a service-oriented business if you're not looking to serve others? Like ultimately that's like what our entire business is comprised of, is literally serving other people and doing something for them every single day. If you're that arrogant that you're going to be like, oh, well, I'm only going to see people between 9 and 3, and I'm not going to see people on Fridays, and I don't travel more than 2 hours, then like, what are you even doing?
Right.
Like, why are you even?
And good luck growing.
Yeah, like good luck growing. Why?
I mean, it's good for us that most people think that way, because we'll interact with a lot of people in the industry, and that is, I'd say 99% of everyone's idea. And then you really drill down into it, and it's no surprise that these folks just don't grow. And you'll see they're flat 4 or 5 years in a row in their business. And it's because why would somebody refer, to them if it's just very platonic relationship not in the relationship standpoint, in the standpoint of just like, it's straight business, one meeting a year, not really inexperienced, you're not creating engaged relationships with your customers and your clients. You're not going to grow if you're doing that. You have to do something different, or you have to be better for your people and show up for them all the time.
Yeah. And ultimately, like, aside from anything else in your business, like if you're somebody who's starting out, you're, let's say, like a sub 7-figure revenue business owner, and you're trying to get to that next point, there's no business that didn't thrive off of having ridiculous amounts of sales. Like if you can go out and sell and you can bring business in, you'll figure out everything else on the back end from like an operation standpoint and all the other things that come along with it. Like you could be the best person at operations and you could be the best person at back office work, but if you can't sell, you'll have no business. But if you can at least go out and sell and affect people in a positive way, you will have business. And then on the back end, you'll figure out how to conduct that business.
And to all the people out there that say, I'm not a sales guy or I'm not a saleswoman and I don't like to sell, you've got to reframe, like we've been talking about this whole conversation, what sales actually means. It's not just going and trying to push a product. All sales is getting in front of people and solving the problems. That's it. So if you're truly passionate about whatever your business or product is, you know that it's going to help people. So just try to help as many people as you can. We say all the time, like that is just our mission, is influencing lives across America in a positive way and helping as many people as we possibly can, because that's what our business does. So every day, that is our mission, is how can we get to more people? How can we get to more people? Because we are so passionate about our offering and what our organization does that if a client if they meet with us and end up going with someone else, we know they're worse off. Like there's nowhere better that someone's going to be taken care of than within our organization. And everyone has to frame their mind that way to know that. And if your business doesn't take care of people better than other organizations, fix it and figure out how to take care of people better, because you have to be passionate to the point where you know that people either need to be with you, and if they go somewhere else, they're going to be worse off. And you got to just believe that with all your heart.
Yeah, because money is a byproduct of serving and being in touch with as many people as possible. Like if you literally look at just the largest companies in the world, you look at Amazon, you look at Microsoft, you look at Apple, everyone orders off of Amazon, everyone has an iPhone in their pocket, and everyone's computer has Microsoft product. Like those three individuals have effectively created businesses that have affected the most amount of people worldwide. And obviously money is a byproduct of that. So the more that you can positively affect people in your area, across the country, across your state, whatever your region is, money is going to be a byproduct of that. Your business will continue to grow. I can promise you that. The more people that you come in touch with and have a positive experience with you, you will earn more dollars. That just is the formula.
And I would say Amazon probably solves more problems than any other company that's ever existed in the world, because like someone has a board sticking up out of their deck and they don't have anything at the house that's going to fix it. Let's say they need like a new drill bit to fit the screws that they need to put into the deck, and they live an hour and 20 minutes away from Lowe's and they don't have 2.5 hours to go and get this. They're okay with waiting 2 days. Boop, pull out your phone, boom, it's done. It'll be at your door in 2 days, and then you can fix your deck effectively. And that same scenario works for unlimited millions and millions and millions of problems that pop up in everyone's daily life. And Amazon's got even better. Sometimes you can get it same day or next day now to solve problems. So I think that, what started as a bookstore just turned into a wildly smashing success, because like Jeff just figured out how to solve every problem that exists, basically. To offering as many, like every product he adds to Amazon is another solution that's going to help somebody. And I think it's just genius. So I think that like business as a whole, if you're thinking about what to start with just what's a big pain point in your life that you go through, and then how can you help others with the same thing. So literally every business is just solving problems. And then sort of transitioning to the other side of sales, everyone uses sales probably every single day without even realizing it in your personal lives. And I would say at the simplest level, sales probably starts when you're 3 years old. I'll actually give a story. My son, for the first time yesterday, he's 3 years old, and I called you about this. He was trying to sell my wife, Gina, on why he shouldn't go to preschool yesterday. And after I left and went to work, he started limping around the kitchen and trying to sell that he had a hurt leg, saying that he hurt it on a trampoline. He's never been on a trampoline in his life. And somehow it was natural to him. He was trying to basically use knowledge, information to influence another person's opinion to get the outcome that he wanted, which wasn't going to preschool yesterday. Like it starts at 3, and you'd either get really good at it through your childhood, your teenage years, your early years in your 20s, or you stink at it and you never influence people. And so at the simplest example, outside of business, all it is just influencing people to get the end state that you want for whatever it is you're trying to do. That's sales at the simplest level.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, you look at any guy at a bar that's trying to like talk to a woman and get her to give him his number. He's selling that woman, or if a woman is talking to a man trying to get his number, she's selling him on trying to give him information about themselves on why, they should essentially, exchange numbers or something like that. So at the end of the day, sales is just influencing people with all of your attributes that we talked about, with all of your skills or your subject matter expert knowledge. And if you do it right, no one will even ever realize that you're trying to influence them to get your outcome and shape, really your reality.
Yeah. And I would just say, like, to close, for me, if you're getting into sales, you're getting into business, whatever it is, like, start with the basics, be energetic, be passionate, be a subject matter expert, present yourself well. Those are going to put you're going to be 90% ahead of anybody else if you're like that in all aspects, business and personal. If you could just do those basics first. But the other thing is just don't fight sales, like you talked about. Like, don't be the person that's like, oh, I'm not salesy, or like, I'm not a salesperson, like whatever it is. Like, don't fight that, because ultimately it's solving problems for others. So if you're not somebody that solves problems for others, you probably shouldn't be in business. That should be your focus always. So those two main things, like, start with the basics, look to solve problems for others. Money will be a byproduct of that. I can almost guarantee it.
And I'll say, to close for me, if you're the person that's listening to this, like, okay, I totally get that I need to get better at sales because I know that that's how I'm going to level up my career. That's how I'm going to level up in life. And you're wondering, how do I get better at sales? I think step one is just pure reinventing yourself from an attribute standpoint. If you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, get a new haircut, literally shave your face, like, start being clean shaven, go out and you can get a presentable set of clothes at Target or Walmart for, $40, $50. You can get a polo and a pair of khaki pants, for very reasonable. And then immediately you're already, boom, way more presentable and clean cut and trustworthy looking. And then step two, I think the ultimate thing is confidence. How to build confidence: go and work out every day, go for a run, go to the gym, and you're going to have that win that you accomplished something that was difficult, and you just walk a little bit taller, you speak a little bit louder, a little bit clearer, and boom, you're already off to the gate. And then you just do that every single day, and you just build up that natural ability and confidence and belief in yourself. And then the last thing is, whatever it is that you do, just become the subject matter expert and know that no one's going to know that information better. Because whenever you have it and it's ingrained in you, it's just boom, you can immediately display that you're sharp as a tack within 5 or 10 seconds of talking to somebody about whatever it is that you do. In their mind, they're like, that's my guy for this. They're the subject matter expert. And then in your mind, you now are the whatever you do. If you're a mechanic, you're now the car guy to that person in their mind. If you're a carpenter, you're now, the carpenter guy. Like, everyone in their mind has all these people that they subconsciously view as subject matter experts in their field. And if you can just then have that knowledge of whatever you do down packed to where it's not a like, yeah, I think it's this. If it's no, boom, this is the information, and you can just display it extremely fast. You now have the 3 biggest attributes that you need. And then the fourth thing then is just figure out a way to put it all together to solve a problem. And now you're good at sales. It's not like sales. You don't need to go and do a sales course. You don't need to go to a sales school. It's just presentable, confident, subject matter expert, solve a problem. That's it. And you're now going to be successful at whatever you do. So I think that, don't get the Sales for Dummies textbook. Don't go and buy somebody's course. Start with getting those things down, and then just see how much your life gets better because of that.
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think this was a good episode. Anyone who has sales questions, we've sold our way to building a pretty large business pretty fast, all through sales, literally every single
every day
away. So if you have any questions on that, definitely drop a comment, shoot a DM to us. We'd be more than happy to talk. We love talking to other business owners.
Awesome. Till next time, stay disciplined.